Hi everyone! Thank you for tuning in. It's Annalisa. I've been away for a while, a few months, and I'm back. So really nice to connect with everyone again and to be back in this space with you to bring through some guidance and some insight from Spirit for you. And I've been away because I started doing a lot of readings, and I felt like I think what was going on, some other work came in that I needed to do that was much more about connecting with the land, and I think I needed to go through some grounding and integration processes to really bring down the kind of higher chakra energies that were being activated by doing a lot more of this more like upper, like mental chakra work, higher chakra work, and to really integrate into my body again. So that's really what I think has been going on the last couple of months, has just been grounding back down. And I'm still doing the personal readings. Those have been carrying on, but I just had to really reduce the amount I was doing. So just get back into myself and into my body. And with all the astrological events, there's been so much going on. So anyway, I am back here now, really happy to see you. And I am doing a kind of general reading, this one. This is just a kind of check-in. So this is for you wherever you are at in your life. It's like what's going on, trying to understand a situation in greater depth. I'm using a spread called the Celtic Cross, a traditional kind of spread, and it's kind of looking at the past, present, future, and it's also looking into the kind of the unconscious and conscious processes, the guidance from spirit, the kind of hopes and fears, and to get a sense of what the outcome could be, and kind of looking at how all these things integrate. I really like the Celtic Cross spread because you can draw lots of parallels across the different cards across the spread. There's ways to read the different cards together, so it's a really nice one to use and work with. So I'm going to just do that for you, just 3 groups, and it can be about work, about relationships, about anything that you want to just understand what's going on in your life. And there's three decks for you to choose from. So just drop into yourself, taking a few deep breaths, and dropping into your gut, down into your belly, and feeling your feet on the ground. And from that relaxed space, relaxing your shoulders. From that relaxed space, just allow one of the numbers, or visually, just what you're drawn to from the cards. Just allow one of them to quietly just float in, or kind of be revealed, or jump in. Maybe they come in really strong for you. But often if it's tricky, then just allow, just like clearing the space and just allowing something quietly, to the quiet voice to come in and speak to you. So choose that pile, and then you can follow the timestamps below. And I'm kind of just starting up again. So if you have any spreads you would really like me to do, any questions you really want me to do, then please drop in some suggestions below, and if they resonate with me, then I will take them up. And no offense if they don't. It's just got to resonate with where I'm at as well. And enjoy your reading. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel if you're new, and welcome to everyone who's new. Thank you for everyone who's already been joining and tuning in to me. And the details for private readings are below, so if you're interested in going into a bit more depth or something a bit more specific or personal to you, then you can contact me below, and I'd love to do a reading for you. Okay, so let's get started. Group number 1. Okay, universe. What does group number 1 need to hear from Spirit? What advice would you like to bring through to them? What advice? How can they be helped? How can they connect to their soul understanding in this situation? Okay. All right, group number 1. So what I'm feeling for you is there's something you're holding on to. There's something that you haven't quite let go of. It's like you're a little bit possessive over something. This could be a feeling, or I'm getting a sense for many of you, it's going to be more of a feeling. It's more of a idea or an attitude that there's something you're kind of holding on to. It's an attachment, and I would say it is an attachment to something from the past. I feel like it's a kind of wounding. There's something that's happened recently, an ending, a disruption, a change, something dramatic, something big, a real chaos, a storm. This could mean you've been through a kind of dark night of the soul, a real dark period where you've been maybe in depression, you've been very sad, you've been struggling, you've been stressed, sleepless nights. Things have felt like they're falling apart. You've had to let go of control. You've had to really surrender. And that you're still in the process of overcoming this, I feel. This is what you need to be aware of. What Spirit wants you to be aware of is there's still some kind of attachment to this process. And there's some kind of awakening. As your block, we've got the judgment, and the judgment is all about rebirth. And actually, there's something that you're not quite allowing yourself to be reborn. You're not allowing yourself to rise from the ashes because you're still holding on to something. And I feel it's kind of mental, okay, because we've got quite a few sword energies. So it's something in your mind. It's an idea. There's some idea you're still holding on to. Externally, you're presenting as the 10 of Cups. So externally, you're showing you're happy, you're satisfied, everything feels really good. And maybe there may be external realities that are really good, some great opportunities, some satisfaction, contentment. It can be a new job, a new relationship, or just reaching a culmination, like a success. This feels like a real success and real satisfaction. This is going on in your exterior world, outer world. But in your inner world, we've got the Page of Swords, and I'm feeling this is there's something in your mind that is like maybe some regret, some bitterness, there's something about this past situation that you've still got you're still holding on to it, and maybe a kind of, it could be like a pity way, like poor me, like why did this happen to me, or some annoyance towards other people, or some mental kind of so there's a mental battle going on, and Spirit really wants you to let go of this, okay? It's the 7 of Swords in reverse. So you may be feeling like something was stolen from you, something was taken from you. You may have feelings of like this jealousy or unfairness, or there's something underneath all of this that is kind of eating at your heart. And it's kind of it's kind of, it feels like a bit of an attack on you. It feels like you've had to make some kind of choice. Maybe your circumstances mean you have to make a choice, and you've not been able to control that. That you haven't been able to. It feels like it's not been your choice, or you feel like it wasn't your choice. You feel like you didn't have a choice. That you were forced into a decision, and you're worried that you've made the wrong decision. And you're worried that you haven't been listening to your guidance, or that you are not listening to your guidance, or that you're not able to. You're mistrusting your own discernment, your own decision making. The truth is, we always have a choice. There is always a choice, but it's that I feel like you have some kind of uncertainty or regret, even though externally things seem to be improving. It's like there's still this internal battle going on. And I feel like this is it's something you really need to work with, because it's manifesting as the Three of Swords, which is heartbreak. And let me just get a clarifier for this. The Fool. I feel like you may be feeling like you are gonna get your heart broken, or that you've caused pain, or that you feel like you're going to be causing pain. With these swords of truth cutting through the heart, it feels like you have you feel like you're risking your heart, that your heart's going to get broken, that maybe this is different for different people. Either your heart's going to get broken, or you're going to break someone else's, that you're going to cut someone, that hurt someone, that it's going to happen all again. And it's feeling like you it's this lack of gratitude that's manifesting at the moment. I feel like you're worried that you've let go of you didn't appreciate what you had. Something to do with this Tower disrupting. It's like whatever fell apart, you had to trust the unknown, the uncertainty, and I think you're trying to find the gratitude, actually. Yeah, I mean the sense I'm getting is that this is still in process. This tower moment is still unfolding and in process, and it's about needing to have this time to really right now be aware of your thoughts, be aware of your mental processes and patterns, and to trust in your choice, to trust in yourself, and allow yourself to leap into this uncertainty and fear with gratitude. I hope this makes sense. It's because it's a general reading. It feels like it can apply to lots of different circumstances. So I'm going to get a clarifier for this outcome as well. It feels like you're just carrying a lot of burdens, and you may be overwhelmed by the emotional circumstances, and It's interesting because there are these cups going on, but it's just, you're just finding it difficult to get in touch with them, because actually you're in a lot of conflict still, and you're still carrying. You're carrying everything. You're holding all your burdens and your worries, but it's challenging, and because you feel like you're carrying so much, it's hard to appreciate what's there, because it's almost like there's so much you can't really see what you've got. You're just trying to hold on to everything. So I'm going to get some oracle cards just for a bit more advice. Okay. Break the chain. Ancestral patterns, healing, and rewriting the future. So this is really letting go of the way things have happened in the past, the way things have been. And this is a huge, huge, huge gift and a huge power, the ability to do this, because the patterns that go through our society, go through our families, go through ourselves, through lifetimes, it gets wired into our brain, it becomes instinctive, and it's so hard to break those patterns that we keep reenacting. And your advice is really just be aware that you're in the process of destroying a pattern. That's what the Tower has been about. It's been about breaking and shattering this habitual way of thinking. I really think that it may be in other things, but at the moment it's really about the thinking, like the way you think about things. And this is really a process of healing in order to recreate who you are. So this is a real time of rebirth for you, of being able to do something new, do something different, but you're still breaking up that pattern. So it's still going on. So just be aware that's the process, and that's what you've been exploring. Okay. Yeah, again, unbound, releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. So you're closing out cycles, you're closing out connections, or all these habits. It's the same thing. It's kind of this soul story. It's not just about this lifetime. Whatever you've been going through, this is huge, right? Because it's not just about now. It's about the lives before you, before you came, and it's setting yourself free. And it's interesting because I have the sense that you feel like you don't have freedom. Somehow it feels like there isn't a freedom in this because of the thought pattern, but actually what you're doing is freeing yourself from some of what you thought freedom was, what you thought, maybe what you thought what made you happy, or what excites you, or what you want. It's like seeing who you are and what you want from a new place by releasing this. And the other advice we have, Sisterhood of the Rose, beauty and devotion, priestess, mystic, teacher. So this process is allowing you to step into your strength, into your power, into your ability to heal and teach others through your own understanding, your own learning. So you've been on a deep journey, and coming out the other side, you're stepping into beauty by releasing this heaviness and this darkness from the past. You're stepping into this much, much lighter and purer essence of being. And I feel this is drawing to the feminine aspect of you, whether you're female or male. It's about honoring the feminine within you, and the gentleness and the purity and the nurturing. This fragrance of the rose feels really sweet and nourishing, and holding you in a higher vibration. It's really this purification process. So be aware of your mental patterns, and just really understanding why you're thinking what you're thinking, the doubts you have. And with this trust in yourself, I'm feeling like it's this need to surrender to divine grace, to like surrendering the struggle, surrendering the idea that life needs to be a struggle, that it needs to be a heavy process, and allowing yourself to find acceptance of your ideas and your thoughts, acceptance of your past and who you've been, and forgiving yourself for not just for whatever you've experienced, but also where you're at now. Like just allowing yourself to know and understand that it's huge. It's huge. The consciousness and shifts that are going on are massive at the moment, and the work you're doing, is not just for you. Okay, it may feel like it's about you, but it's the majority is not about you. It's about the collective, the people who are tuning into these videos. This is really about healing an aspect of the collective, and finding a new way of being, a new temple, a new way of devotion to yourself and to others. Okay, group number 1. Thank you for tuning in. I hope that's helpful. Please give me a like or a subscribe, and do get in touch if you'd like a personal reading. The links are below. And thank you for being here with me. I'll speak to you again soon. Hi, group number 3. Thank you for being here with me today. You're very welcome, and I hope you are having a wonderful day wherever you are, that you are loving yourself, looking after yourself, and being accepting and conscious with who you are and where you are. Okay, universe, what message do we have for group number 2? Universe, please bring us clear, concise, and inspirational message. For group number 2. Wow guys, this is really similar to the last group. It's different. It's like different, but very similar. It's so interesting when this comes through. Some real collective themes that are going on right now. Okay, so where you're at right now, the Ten of Cups. For me, in this particular deck, the Ten of Cups is about self-love. So you are in the process of deepening and processing, really connecting with how you truly love yourself, what it truly means to care for yourself. And I feel like you're seeing this in a whole new way. It feels like you've been coming from a place where you haven't felt fulfilled. Somehow you haven't felt like you had what you wanted. You were lacking in richness. And I feel this in a practical sense, it could be materially, it could be in money, or in, what you actually have in your job, your work, even your relationships. It's like you just didn't have the kind of richness and abundance that you wanted it. You felt like you were really lacking. But you're now stepping into this place of real self-love and understanding what really makes you abundant, which is these cups. So you're moving from a more materialistic perspective into a more emotional perspective, where you're understanding the importance of emotion and of flow and connection, of nurturing, of gentleness, of softness, of really allowing yourself to be where you need to be, and appreciate things. And I also feel like allowing your emotions regardless, because she's, she doesn't look that happy, right? It's kind of about self-love, but it's accepting that sometimes you're not feeling happy, or accepting your depression, accepting difficulties, stress or challenge, and being able to love yourself despite those challenges. Like, how do I keep loving myself? How do I keep nurturing myself through that? Because it's part of life, right? That we're going to experience these different emotions, but when you can be objective with them and appreciate them for just being part of a flow, the emotions are represented by water because it's this moving current. It's constantly changing form, and can be, vast, can be deep, can be still, can be turbulent. It has all these different processes, and I feel like you're starting to love yourself within all of those feelings, within all of those embodiments of feeling. That it's okay, it's okay to be upset. It's okay to cry, It's okay to be joyful. It's okay to be quiet. Whatever it is, you're just kind of in this appreciation. And the block you have is the Two of Swords. So I feel like you may be feeling like it's not. You may still be feeling like it's not okay to be sad, or it's not okay to be upset. And I feel like the block is you're not allowing yourself to fully go into the blues. I'm just getting this sense that that it's okay. I want to say it's okay for you to feel sad. It's okay for you to feel pain. It's okay for you to feel heartbreak or separation. And actually, it's what you really need is to feel, is to really go deeper into the feelings. Because the advice from Spirit is the Eight of Swords. And this is really, I feel like this is about a separation. And this can be separation in a practical sense, in a physical sense, like actually separating from someone. This can be like a family member, or a romantic relationship, or it can also be separation from yourself. It's feeling those separations, feeling that distance, Spirit is asking you to feel that and to go deeper into it. Because it feels like on the outside, there's a lot of joy and celebration, there's happiness, there's some excitement, there's some real abundance and light and passion and love that wants to come through, that is present in your life. But unconsciously, we've got the moon in reverse. So I feel like there's a block. You're kind of blocking your unconscious. You're blocking your anxieties, your fears. They're there, okay? They're there, and it's okay for them to be there. It doesn't stop you from having this happiness and this joy. They're not, mutually exclusive. They're not things that are completely separate. It's okay, like it's possible to feel both really joyful and happy and depressed at the same time. And I can share my experience when I had depression. When I was younger, I went into a kind of I'd say a deep depression. It wasn't real, it wasn't really awful, but what happened was I wasn't acknowledging the fact that I wasn't happy where I was. I was in a relationship I wasn't happy with. I was in a city that I didn't want to live in, and I wasn't acknowledging those things. I was kind of putting them off. I was like, it's okay, it'll get better, I'll change things in a year. And what happened is I started blocking off my anxiety. It was like I was blocking off kind of this kind of side. And what happened was, whilst I was blocking that off, I was then also blocking my joy. It was like I kind of narrowed my emotional scale. So I didn't let myself feel the real downs. So I stopped feeling highs as well. And my emotional field became very narrow and kind of numb. And I didn't really have any feeling in the end. And what I needed to do was get sad, get angry, get depressed, I needed to go into that depression, go into that release. There's a great writer called Jeff Foster, and he refers to depression. He breaks it down to depress, and it's like to release. It's that releasing of the pent up. Depression is the like process of releasing the pent up emotions that we perceive as negative, in inverted commas. But actually, you need to go into and release that in order to feel this joy. Because at the moment where you are headed is the Three of Swords in reverse and the Five of Swords, right? So while you keep blocking your negative emotion, you're just going to create more. It's going to just like pop up, right? So by blocking, it's like blocking feeling heartache, this real heartache. And the more you block it, you're just going to end up in this kind of stagnation. This feels like depression for me, okay? So please know I am a tarot reader. I have trained as a therapist, but I am not currently licensed as one in the UK. I'm not practicing as a therapist at the moment. So please don't take my advice as medical and take your own advice and things. But my feeling is that you need to allow yourself to feel. Just allow yourself to feel. And I can remember the fear. And this is amazing because I remember this feeling and I don't really get it anymore. But this fear that if I went into my emotions, that's not true. I do feel it. I have felt it recently. And it's this fear that if you go into your emotion, it will never stop. If I allow myself into my emotion, it's like a bottomless pit. That's what it feels like. That's what it felt like to me. And this is really good for me because I've got like a real fear I'm dealing with at the moment to do with my daughter. And I'm so scared to go into that fear and go into that feeling because I'm scared it's going to create more of it. I'm scared I'm going to manifest it if I allow myself to go into that real deep feeling that I'm going to somehow allow it to exist in my world. And if I avoid it, then it will go away. But actually the opposite is true. When you go into it, there is a bottom, there is a pit, there is a change. And anyone who's done any kind of anything where you've had to really persevere, any kind of endurance thing, it could be with work, with sport, with whatever it is, where you've had to go into a situation where you've had to really be scared. For example, like giving a presentation, and you had to go up in front of people and you've been absolutely scared, but you've done it anyway, even though you've had real terror. You've gone into it and you've done it, and you actually discover this light that's within it. You gain this insight, this strength, this power through going into it. And it's the same thing with your emotions. It's like an endurance thing. You've got to allow yourself to break the pain barrier, the emotional pain barrier, and allow yourself to break and feel it, and then you will release it, and then you can appreciate, and you will feel the real joy and real happiness. But as long as you block your pain, you're going to block your joy at the same time. And anything else? So with the Ace of Swords, this is a new beginning. I feel like there's new truth, there's new insight, there's new information, there's new ideas. This all wants to come into you. It's like this real insight wants to come into you. And Spirit wants you to open to it, to open to this insight, because you're going to find this truth in your shadow, in your darkness. When you go in, you're going to find this sword of truth, this sword of light. And with that, you can cut and clear and remove the obstacles that are in your mind. And with the Ten of Wands reversed, this is just this feeling of overwhelmingness, whatever it is, like just too much. It's too much. I can't deal with all this. It's too much, and these emotions are too much, or that it's like the fire. It's like there's too much fire, and it's burning hot. And this is maybe your fear that you're going to go into rage, that you're going to go into this burning heat. But actually, this is going to be really powerful, because fire is such an empowering element. It gives you passion and drive and motivation to move forward, to create. And you're blocking the fire as well by not going in here. Okay, let me get a couple of oracle cards for you as well. Please give me a like or subscribe if you're new to the channel. If you're new, welcome. Okay, your advice. Boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? What are boundaries? You know, my friend said this. Like, when she kind of was younger, she was like, I didn't even know what it meant, what a boundary meant. So what is a boundary? You know, ask yourself, what does it mean to have a boundary? What are boundaries? Why do they exist? Why are they needed? Are they needed? Why are they needed? And for me, boundaries are really about being able to say yes and being able to say no. And you do that once you establish a real connection to yourself, this real integrity, a discernment, a knowing. And when you have that within you, you really trust yourself, trust who you are, then you're able to just say, no, that's not for me. Or yes, that is what I want. And when you have not just the mental idea, but the action, when you take the action around this, then it's a message to the universe that I know what I want. I'm not going to just float along with whatever is going to come along through life. I'm going to choose who and what I want to be or to experience. And we can't, there's parts of our storyline in our life that we can't change, but we can change the script. And boundaries is about your script. Like, what is your script going to be? How are you going to engage with this storyline? And when you set boundaries with yourself, you are protecting yourself, you are loving yourself, you are caring about yourself. So this comes back to this, this place where you are, of this coming into this self-love, this real self-love, and exploring the idea of what a boundary is. I think it's going to help you go into this. And maybe you feel your boundaries have been broken, that you have been, what's the word? Violated. It's a strong word. I don't know where that came through. Like, you feel like you've been violated. This can be your energy body, or your physical body, or your mental body. But you feel like, it's been penetrated in an unhealthy way. And you need to take ownership that you allowed that. When you don't put up your boundaries, you allow yourself to be taken advantage of, or to be victimized. And when you set boundaries, maybe there's a grieving process for the lack of boundaries that you've had in the past. So allowing yourself to grieve, mourn, and cry for yourself for not loving yourself in the past. And especially, if you're a light worker and you're working on creating and manifesting a very bright and powerful and light life experience for yourself. We've got the Four of Wands, we've got this external joy and happiness and fire, celebration, coming back to this really positive world that's happening around you. And when you start creating this and owning this, you're creating this light within you that other people want. Other people want to take that light or take that and be part of it. And as if you're an empath or someone who is who has a big heart, wants to give and wants to share, then you can want to share it. You want to share this abundance and share your light and share all of this, but you can become depleted and you can allow yourself to be taken from, because unfortunately there are people who want to take and who aren't aware that that's what they're doing. And they aren't conscious of how they're using their energy body. And I feel like you are, you're conscious of your energetics. And as you bring this light within you and grow this light within you, you need to set boundaries that you don't give it all away, because you need to own it and honor it for yourself. You need to fill yourself and then overflow, right? It's that remembering to fill yourself up so you can then overflow, and not giving from a place of depletion. So it may be at the moment, while you are going through some process, you can't give. You're not in a space to really give much, and that's okay. It's alright to be like that. And even if you're supposed to be, you feel like you're supposed to be happy and celebrating whatever's going on, it's okay to not feel like that, because actually there's this other stuff going on unconsciously. And when there is this difference between the unconscious and the conscious world, or the underworld and the outer world, or inner and outer world, it's it creates this stress and this friction, and it can be energetically draining. That can be really tiring as well. So it's acknowledging what's going on unconsciously or inside, and allowing that to be, and believing and trusting that you will be accepted and held and supported and safe through that process. That it's not gonna, it's not gonna kill you. It's not gonna, you're not gonna be destroyed by it. It's a process of empowerment. Okay, I think that's good. Group number 2. I hope that was useful. Please give me a like, subscribe if you are new, and do get in touch if you would like something more specific, a reading for your relationships, for your work, or anything that you're interested in. So thank you so much, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon. Hi, group number 3. Thank you for being with me and exploring what's going on in your world. Let's see, it's interesting. There's lots of similarities between the first 2 groups. So, will we have something completely different for you? I'm very interested in the patterns in the collective, and I'm an empathic person, and I often have to be aware of what I'm feeling as what's collective and what's personal, and being really aware of that discernment. As part of why I took a bit of a break recently was because I felt like they were becoming too merged, and I needed to establish my energetic boundaries again. So let's see what is coming up for you. Okay, when they all come out reversed, then for me I turn them around. Wow. This is fascinating. Okay, there are similarities again. What I'm noticing as a pattern in these readings is the contrast between the inner and outer worlds. So it feels like in the external world, I'm talking about the collective, just very briefly about collective experience, that huge transformations, changes, some beautiful, beautiful things are coming into our physical reality. But in the unconscious world, we're still holding on to the past, and we're still holding on to our difficulties and challenges. And it's really important for us to be aware that the reason we maybe are not living in the this pure and bright new earth that we all want to live in is not because it's not here, but because we're still catching up with it. And that's not a criticism at all. It's a process. We're human. It takes a bit of time. Things don't always happen instantly. But I really feel like the universe wants everyone to know that, like, it's here. Like, it's really here. The joy is here, the excitement, the celebration, everything, it's happening, and we are just shifting our bodies into it. So we're in this process of moving into higher light, like more high vibrational light bodies, to higher consciousness, to really embody that world. And what am I sensing for you guys? It feels like you've had some awakenings, you've had some realizations recently, and deep ones, big ones, the Judgment card, that this is not just a kind of a little notice, a small kind of awareness. It's real deep ancestral awakening of who you are, this transformation. I feel like you recently have become, it's interesting with the butterflies in both of these, I feel like you've come out of the cocoon, You've been in the process, and you have actually been reborn. And it may not feel like it to some extent. It may not feel like you're fully in this butterfly form, in this transformation, but you are. Okay, that the flowers have bloomed, the butterflies have come out, the awakening, the enlightenment has happened already. And where you are now is you may be feeling kind of cool and calm. You may be feeling very clear in your mind and very direct. I feel like she's got a real strong intention. The Queen of Swords, it's this real clarity of intention and awareness, a real awareness of who she is and of the environment she's in. It's like this 360-degree view. She has this capacity to perceive and then pinpoint her target and choose exactly where she's headed, what she wants, and follow that. And it's where you've come into, you've really bloomed or blossomed into this beautiful place. And I feel like this real insight, you've got a much stronger connection to Source. You may have had a spiritual awakening recently, and now you're feeling much more connected to the life force of the earth and of the cosmos, and the ability to connect with your soul on a deeper level. And this harmony, I feel like there's like some harmony in relationship that's come through as well. There's some kind of peace, some kind of peace that is kind of, there's something about it being behind her, like in the past. There's some kind of peace about the past, or peace about a past relationship, something like that. Like you've maybe healed a past relationship, and you've got insight around it, and now you're looking to you have a new insight, a new direction, a new way of moving forward. And so what have we got? In your external world, we've got the Six of Cups. So I feel like this is a returning to some kind of an old, what do I want to say? It's like an old love, an old feeling of like this heart connection. So I keep touching my microphone when I'm touching my heart. I'm touching my heart and I keep banging it, so sorry if there's noise there. But it's this remembrance, is this home. I feel like it's like a returning to this home of, it may be of your heart, of your knowing, of your connection to your love, your essence, who you are, and really returning and falling like back in love with yourself. And this may also be with someone else, with family members, but this real deep, loving connections that are happening. And this is in your external world. So this is something that's happening physically, emotionally, and it's a tangible emotional connection, reconnection to yourself or to others that feels very comfortable and nourishing and warm and safe, and just this deep emotional satisfaction that's coming in externally. But the little devil wants to pop up here as a block. So although this is happening in your external world, unconsciously you've got some doubts and you've got some worries and you've got some fears, or you've got, or all those things. There's some kind of anxieties that are haunting you. I want to say it's like you're kind of halfway between these different feelings. It's like there is this golden flower, there is this new, you can see this little tiny swan, this little baby that's being nourished, and it's like there's these anxieties. There's still these anxieties around this new, whatever it is that's new, this new connection to yourself. I really feel like this is a self-love or representation of self-love, but there's still some doubts and anxieties that you're holding around it. But you're halfway in between. The devil is, this is particularly in this deck. The devil is representing of holding your heart. It's like got it in its web. It's got your heart in some kind of entanglement, and that's what I feel is going on under the surface. There's still this kind of entanglement between the past and the future, between the hopes, the excitement, and the worries. But with this particular deck, the key is right here. The key to escape from this is next to you. It's like above your head. It's like held in this mouth, and it's just to reach up and take this key out of the mouth and unlock, and then you set yourself free. So you have the power to set yourself free from these anxieties, and it's right there, and it's removing this key from this mouth. I feel like the mouth is significant, like unblocking the mouth, like removing something from the mouth. Maybe you need to share your anxieties or share your worries with someone that you trust, and allow yourself to be free. Like set yourself free through expression of some kind. Spirit wants you to know you can handle anything. Like you can absolutely handle anything. You are capable of carrying the whole world on your shoulders. Like you're super, super strong. You're like this tree branch that can hold an entire civilization. And it may feel like a real burden to you. There may be this sense of weight, of heaviness to this castle that you're building in your life. But Spirit wants you to know that it's nothing you can't handle. Okay, this is interesting. External influence, we've got the Knight of Swords. There may be, so this is other people, I feel. Other people, external situations that are bringing in the doubt. So this doubt that's here, the reason it's so easy to unlock yourself is because actually it's not yours. The doubts that you have are not yours. They're external. They're coming in externally. And this is what's different from the other decks, is that you feel like you're owning some doubts, but they have been planted by another person or another situation. So it may be other people have been expressing their doubts. This happened to me yesterday, right? I was at a sweat lodge yesterday, and it was the first time I've been to a sweat lodge, and I was really excited about going. I love the heat. I love being in saunas and steam rooms, and I just love that that real, exposure to deep, deep heat. And there was another girl there, and I'd been talking about the fact it was my first one, and I had like a headache, and I had some different symptoms and things, and I've been sharing that. And this girl started saying things to me like, oh, it's going to be really hard, or this is the most, she said to me, this is the most painful thing I've done in my life besides childbirth. And I was like, wow, that's like really painful. And I'd never been in one before, and I started to get really worried, and I started to get really anxious, and I had to take myself away from that person and go for a walk and reconnect with my feeling of how the sweat lodge was going to be, like what it meant to me and how excited I was. And the other thing I needed to do that helped was to this other girl, she had a lot of things to, like, she's done a lot of things with her work. So she does all this amazing work with women who are ill and helping treating them. And it's really powerful, the things that she was sharing, that the kind of feedback that she gets from people. And I needed to acknowledge her, so I gave her a lot of compliments. I really complimented her a lot on the work she was doing and what she was experiencing. And somehow, by being in that place, by being able to offer that to her, it softened the connection, and also it kind of gave me an energetic boundary that I stood in my own strength and in my own power. I also had to do that when we did some songs, like opening chants, that kind of thing. And I really stood in my power and expressed myself. And I was really aware of the feeling that it could feel competitive, that I wanted to sing really loudly and really be in my passion. And I was worried that would be competitive. So I just kept bringing the focus back to myself and really bring the passion out. And I hope this is relevant. I'm sharing this story because I feel like it might help you in managing this other personal exterior energy. And so I had to really stand in my power and trust that I wasn't being competitive. I was just expressing who I was and my life force. And when I did those things, I came back into myself and I was like, yes, I am excited about this sweat lodge. It's going to be great. And I did. I had a great experience, and it was really like delicious for me. I just loved it, and it got pretty hot at one point, but it never became unbearable. It was definitely much easier than childbirth for me. Although I had a very good birth, it was nowhere near that kind of pain. And so, it was really about setting that boundary. And I feel like there's something here about being aware of what's being kind of suggested to you and not owning it. Like, actually, that's not mine. That's someone else's thought, someone else's feeling, or society's feeling, or what culturally has been put on me, what my family expects of me. And you just need to be aware of that. Hopes and fears. I think you fear, so you've got the Chariot in reverse as your fear. I think you feel like you there may be a fear of not moving forward, but also you kind of hope that you're not moving forward. There's something about maybe slowing down, or maybe about not needing to kind of dash or rush, but also this fear of maybe not being able to control. Yeah, something about control, that you're not in control. And you kind of quite like the fact you're not in control, but you're also kind of scared. That's what I'm feeling. And it might be making you feel kind of emotional. But, let go of the reins. I mean, this lady, she's let go of the reins. Let it go and trust Spirit is going to guide. Spirit's going to guide you. And then we have really beautiful cards for your outcome. So even though there's this kind of worry, uncertainty unconsciously, it's not really going to affect anything as it is, because we've got the Page of Wands, that is your near future, which is kind of messages of passion, messages of creativity, fire, inspiration. And I feel like you may be kind of really creatively inspired, or creative messages coming through. That's going to kind of stir you and stir your heart and your desires. They're really going to be uplifted. And then your outcome card, we have the Lovers. So if this is all around a relationship, this is really a very significant, beautiful soul connection, and is kind of destined, is on the cards. Whatever's going on underneath the surface, you don't need to worry, because that is there. It's a given. And it feels very harmonious. If you're kind of asking about work, this is like this uniting with your soul purpose in life, your career purpose, your work, your mission work, your vocation for spirit, for the earth. And and this is the sign that it's coming. So don't worry about other people's worries, other people's doubts, other people's impact, because it's really you're there, you know, you're moving there, and I feel like you know this already because you've got this very clear direction. It's just kind of unlocking the kind of maybe attachment to what other people are thinking, because it's not yours. It's not yours. And let's get just an advice card for you moving forward. You've got 2. The Age of Light. You've been training for this for lifetimes, so this kind of confirms this for me. It's just don't worry about letting go for spirit, because this is your divine purpose, your divine relationship, your work, whatever it is. It's like you're on your divine path, and you've been building up and working towards this, and it's absolutely powerful. You know, this pyramid of power, this light connection, this joy, inspiration. It's like these rainbows. It's just beautiful, beautiful, bright, bright energy. So really, it's really to be excited about coming into this higher space. And protection. Call your power back. Cut the cords. Soul retrieval. Really, I'm really feeling this with other people. You need to be really aware of your boundaries with your energy with other people, and protect your boundaries, because you're mentally absorbing other people's ideas. I mean, maybe you just need to like not listen to these people, not connect with them, because even if you're connecting with them like mentally, energetically, so I've done this before where I'm like, what is that person feeling or thinking about me? And when I do that, it's like I absorb that idea and it becomes real in my mind, and it's not true. So it's being really aware of protecting your mental space, particularly your mental space, your ideas and your thoughts. And it may be like you need to kind of like covering your eyes, like not looking at something, not listening, like, or covering your ears. Like you may actually physically want to protect your senses. You know, sensory deprivation could be really powerful for you right now, to actually cut off some kind of input from external sources, because it's kind of damaging you a little bit. Okay, that's my advice for you, group number 3. Please take it as it flies. Take what resonated, what didn't, let it go. And thank you so much for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. You can book me for a personal reading below if you want your specific question answered or some personal guidance. And thank you so much for being here. I love you very, very much.